Hey everyone, welcome to our Vision 90 call. We are going to talk about the skill of mastering objections. This is Executive National Vice President Misty Whitfield. Thank you so much for joining us live or on the recording. We love it when you're plugging in to learn and grow. That's how we make it in this business. I just want to show you, these are my notes because I have been also plugging in and trying to learn and grow just in preparation for tonight. So hopefully we won't be on the Zoom for like 7 hours because I do have a lot of notes. Just kidding. I have some stuff. We're going to condense it. We're going to talk fast and get through this idea of learning to love objections and learning to love the idea of people challenging you. Why should they join your business? And that's really what an objection is. An objection is really, we think of it as a negative, a pushback, a wall that someone's building between us when we offer this business. And you guys, really, it's just an opportunity to share more information and build a bridge to them. So that's what I want you to think about when we're talking tonight about objections. So I have been listening to some trainings and information from a guy named Richard Brooks. He's very big in the network marketing industry and training. So I'm going to summarize some of the things that I've learned from him. And I'm sure it won't be as great as how he put it forth, but the idea is the same. And I also want to recommend a couple of books before I even get started, so don't forget. So one of the books is called Go for No. It's one of my favorites. It's a really little skinny book, and it's really quick to read. It basically says, this is your job, get objections and learn how to deal with them. And it's a great book to help you learn how to deal with objections. Everyone sort of says the same thing when it comes to objections. So there's really no new thing out there. But some of the things that I've learned just in the past couple of weeks, or learned again, I should say, being reminded of, and that objection is just sometimes it's just not someone's time yet. And we have to learn that we can't convince people to do our business. We can't. They have to be ready. It has to be their idea and their timing. And our job is just go ask the next person. So we're going to talk about this word objections and how we can view it as a positive and really going for that no. The second book I want to recommend is Go Pro by Eric Worre. And it is a very simple book, and it is also, has a chapter on objections, but it has also chapters on mastering all the skills needed in network marketing. Because if you want to think about this, this is a brand new way of thinking. It's a brand new way of doing business. If you're a brand new consultant and you've never been involved with a network marketing company before, it's all new. It's like learning a foreign language. So give yourself time to learn. If you've been in for a while and you still don't love objections, then it's your time to open up and really start learning as well. So one of the things that Richard Brooks brings out is we view no as a negative. Done. Like they're cutting us off and it's over. We're breaking up, right? If someone tells us no. And what we have to realize is there is a distinction to the word no. And an example that he gives is when it's snowing outside and you see the snow falling, in most people's worlds, it's cold, wet, white stuff falling. That's the only distinction we have for snow. That's it. Cold, wet, white. It's out there. An Eskimo has like 17 different distinctions for snow because their whole life depends on snow. Their housing, their food, everything depends on snow. And if you think about how, they know just by looking out the window, how hard or fast is it falling? Is it falling softly? When does it melt as it hits the ground? How fast does it take to melt? That would tell me what the temperature is outside. They have all these ideas just around the snow and all these different distinctions. And they can see it's not just snow. It might be fishing. It's a good time to go fishing in this snow. It's a good time to go build a house because this is the kind of snow that helps us build a house. Whatever. I'm just making this up. But there's distinctions around that where most of us are just like, it's snow. And I want you to take that little lesson to the word no. There are distinctions with the word no. And sometimes it might be, now's not a good time. I don't know enough about your business. They say no, but it really means, I'm not really sure. I'm not clear. I don't know enough about what you've said. I don't understand what you've said. So they just say no but they really mean I want to know more. And what I hope to accomplish in our Zoom tonight is helping you hear the distinction in people's voices, help you overcome or master that, how to hear that, and how to help them see where Arbonne can fit into their life. Okay, so then there's the no, I don't ever want to talk to you again about Arbonne. Honestly, in 23 years, no one's ever said that to me, so it's okay. No is not that scary. I've never had anyone say, like, get out of my face. I never want to hear Arbonne again. So mainly it's they don't know enough. They aren't real sure or clear what you're sharing with them, so they have to say no kind of as a defense. So they think you might be pushy, or they think you might twist their arm. They're not really sure or clear. They just don't know enough to say yes. There's the no that, hey, it's not the right time, but I'm still kind of open. And when you can hear that in their voice, then you can ask the right questions to continue the conversation and move forward. So experience in this type of business will help you learn that distinction. Just like if you were an Eskimo and you lived in the snow, you would learn how to tell the differences between all the different snows that are falling. But remember, no does not always mean no. Sometimes it can mean something else. But when someone says no to you, and I just want you to put this in perspective to anything you do in life. If you say no to someone and they come back at you with an argument or try to prove you wrong or convince you that you're wrong or convince you that you should say yes, how do you feel? Walls go up. I'm done with you. You just tried to make me look stupid. You might be right, but then you just proved that I'm stupid or I'm wrong. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Even though you might have won the argument and you convinced me of how, I don't know if I said, I don't have enough time really to do your business. And you came back at me with, well, you sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, and you play for 2 hours. You've got plenty of time. You might win an argument or try to convince someone, but you're going to lose the war, because if you come back at someone with that type of attitude, they're done with you. The wall that you didn't think was being built is now built. They're done. They don't want to hang out with someone who's going to try to convince and argue with them over points and not validate what they said. So please stop trying to convince people to do Arbonne. You can't. When you say, I get it. So I'm gonna say this really quick. All my years in Arbonne, there's been a training out there said in different ways. And Phoebe Fournier is an MVP, and she was one of the first people I heard train on it. And she would say, it's the feel, felt, found method. Keep that in your head. Feel, felt, found. When you can say to someone, I know how you feel. I felt that way too. And here's what I found. And whatever the objection might be, I know how you feel. I thought the price was a little too high at first, or I thought I didn't have time, or I thought I didn't know enough people. I know how you feel because I felt the same way. But after learning more about the industry and after hearing after reading one of this book, after hearing and talking and coaching with my friend, and she gave me some ideas, I found that I could fit it in a little bit each week. I found that it was so concentrated. It lasted a lot longer than other products. So it really wasn't any more expensive. It was just concentrated. I found that, whatever you discovered, but you feel, felt, found, you recognize and honor their objection. You relate to them. And I felt that way too. And then you offer a solution. So I want to just expound on that idea. And I am going to go with my notes so that I can get everything across. So if I'm looking down, that's what I'm doing. The most important thing to remember when someone gives you an objection, no matter what it is, to make them feel heard, not to make them feel argued against, that they're having to defend their position of no. Like, you don't want to come at them. You want to say you know how they feel. You want to honor and hear their objection. It doesn't mean you believe it. Like, I don't have enough time, but you really know they do. You're not totally believing into it or buying into their excuse, but you want them to know, I hear you. You're never going to move a person from their position of no until they feel that you've heard them and they feel honored and they don't feel like you are coming at them to argue with them. So You know, in a lot of sales trainings that I've heard over the years, you hear that word closing, overcome the objection, and then close the sale. And that is in a sales type world, which we don't try to train that way in Arbonne, I don't feel like. But I've heard trainings like that over the years. And what we want to open your mind to when you hear the word no is relating to them. What can I get from, what can I say to this person, or how can I open them up to more ideas? So instead of really going for the close, you're really wanting to be curious. What's making them say no? What is so big in their life that they don't see the value in what I'm offering? Because really, people say yes to things they see value in. You guys, that's the number one thing with objections. If they see value in what you're offering, they're going to have less objections. If they don't feel value or they don't see value in what you're offering, then it's an automatic no. Think about your life. If you don't really see something as valuable and important, you're probably not going to make time for it. So remember that. So instead of having that mindset of trying to overcome and close them, what can I find out about them? What question can I ask to open their mind to more opportunity, to open their mind to, you know, discovering a little bit more, keeping the conversation going. One of my sponsors, Cindy Pipkin, used to say, peel the onion. And I thought that was really strange, except layer by layer, you can peel an onion. So you really want to get to the core of the objection. And you do that by asking questions. Just peel the onion. What more can I learn from this person to help them see that maybe there is a way this could work for them? Maybe this is an answer to what they're looking for. So stop trying to overcome and close people and start asking questions and being curious about and helping them to be more open. Okay, so there are 7 steps. So hopefully we can get through the 7 here. 7 steps to dealing with an objection. Okay, so first of all, I've touched on it, but you want to honor their objection. And so that's the first word, honor their objection. You're not necessarily buying into it, like, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, whatever. You're not necessarily, you know, believing what they're saying, but you're going to say, I hear you. And you're going to honor that. I get it. So most of the time the objection is, oh my gosh, I don't have time for that. I get it. Everyone is so busy. What keeps you so busy? So I'm going to start peeling the onion with some questions. I'm going to be so curious about what does keep them busy. And the more I know about their life and what keeps them so busy, I can help them discover a way that Arbonne could still fit in. So you're going to seek to understand what they're saying. The next one is embrace the objection. Okay, so you're saying, I get it. Next one is embrace it. You don't want to make them feel like they're trying to defend their objection or they're feeling attacked. So there is this attitude around that word no. I touched on it when I started. Most people don't like to hear no. They don't want to be rejected or have some sort of objection. But you guys, let's just think about Arbonne. If there was no objection, what does Arbonne need us for? Why does Arbonne need consultants? Why does Arbonne pay consultants? If there's no objections, if everyone just said, yes, sign me up, I want to do it, I get it. Arbonne could just be a website, be a store that said, hey, sign up here, right? Our whole job, our whole opportunity is based on overcoming objections and helping people see how Arbonne can fit into their life. So you have to get really good and love it and be challenged by it and want to help people see this. Make a game of it. Be excited about going for the no. That's the whole premise in that first book I recommended, Go for No. He's challenging you to go for 100 no's a week. How many can you get? That means you're asking a lot of people, and it's really, really hard to get to 100 no's, believe it or not. It's really hard because people are going to say yes, but you're just going for that no, and you get excited when you hear it. So be okay with that no, that objection, that chance for you to grow, be challenged by it, because that is our job. Arbonne pays us to overcome and help people see this and help them see how they can benefit from our company and join our business. And we do that by sharing our stories, being real, being authentic, learning, being curious about them, asking questions, and using our relationship with them to help build that bridge so that they can see, you know what, I do want to do this. I like this person. I like the way they make me feel. Now think about that versus arguing, trying to close you, and you've all been in a situation, sales situation, appliances or cars or whatever, where you just felt icky. We're trying to lead you so far away from that being that person. And I'll just say this, one of the biggest objections that we get is, oh, I don't want to be pushy to my friends. I don't want to be that person who's always, running down their friends. And I say, good, please don't be that person, because then you're going to give Arbonne a bad name and make me look bad. We don't want you to be that person. And then I'll say something like, and it's just my life. I mean, it's just the truth. Think of someone in your life who's really obnoxious and pushy. We all know people like that. You know what? They don't even realize that they're obnoxious and pushy. That's what makes them obnoxious and pushy, right? When you're aware of what obnoxious and pushy looks like, you're not going to be that way. So obstacle overcome, right? People don't want to be that way, so please don't. We don't want you in Arbonne being obnoxious and pushy. But our job is to build relationships with people and help them, get to know them, ask the right questions, be curious about where they are. One of the things that I heard is like, become their hairdresser. Really, like, have them tell you everything so that you can see, wow, okay, I have a picture of her life. Here's how Arbonne can fit in there. And we don't know that if we're just shoving Arbonne in to everyone's life the way it fits into our life. That's not going to work. Okay, we're all different. We all have different reasons for doing this, different lifestyles, different schedules. I can't cram the way I do Arbonne or whatever into this little mold. It has to fit their lifestyle, and I have to help them see, you can do this, and here's how. So with the attitude of objections and getting that no, if you ever think about, when a toddler's told no, and they just melt down and they get thrown a fit, and they're like, oh, it's just a yucky body language. It's a pouting. And if you do that when you get an objection, you're going to turn people off. No one wants to be made to feel that way. But if you are in the business of loving no and loving objection and really embracing it and saying, I get it, I know how you feel, you're going to open up so many more doors. Your whole body language changes when you love what you're talking about. Okay? If I'm mad that you said no, I'm going to be like this, arms folded, I'm not going to have a good attitude for the rest of the conversation. But if I am expecting the no and ready for it and embrace it and challenged by it and ready for you, I'm going to be warmer. I'm going to be more confident. I'm going to be smiling, and you're going to feel better talking to me and still want to be around me, even if we part ways with you saying, hey, it's not for me. Because I'm going to say, do you mind if I circle back every few months and just check in with you? Well, because I made you feel so heard and validated and honored in your no, you're going to say, sure, that's fine. And you're going to be okay with it. And I'm going to walk away. You're going to walk away. And I now have permission to follow up with you. The other way, where I have tried to close you and convince you and argue with you, the deal's done. He never wants to talk to me again. Okay, does everyone get what I'm saying with that? So when you embrace the no, that's the second step. You're embracing it. You're not trying to defend it. You're just being okay with it. And you're so confident in what you're doing. It's okay if he walks away from that conversation and says no, because maybe in 2 months when I circle back around and invite him to something or check in with him, he remembers good things about me. Hey, you're still doing that? Yeah, let's talk again. So I'm going to be even more able to talk with him later on. Another thing about objections, the third step is defining the objection. And I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with each one of these things, but sometimes people will say, oh, I don't have enough time. I don't know. I don't have enough time to do that. You're going to ask them to define that by saying something like, well, how much time do you think it takes? Or tell me more. What keeps you so busy? You're going to get the questions going. And so instead of saying, oh no, I can show you how to have more time. I can show you. Are you ever going to have more time if you don't do something different? So now all of a sudden I'm preaching at them. It's not going to be well received. If you don't do something different today, you're never going to have time, right? Well, why don't I say something like, I get it. Life is so crazy. It's so busy. What do you mean by, what keeps you so busy? I'm just going to ask some questions. Can you tell me, how much time do you think it takes to do a business like this? And just, I'm going to be soft with my answer. I'm not going to be harsh. I'm not going to be argumentative. And the next step is embellishing the objection. And what this means, and this is actually the most important part, because this is where you're going to say to that prospect, I get it. I hear you. And you are going to be able to, when I say embellish it. So if someone says, oh my gosh, I just don't have time to do those types of things. I just, it sounds great, June, for you, but I just don't have time for that. If I can hear in that person's voice a bit of overwhelm, a bit of something, I can embellish that conversation. I can embellish that objection by saying, oh my God, I hear you, June. Things can get so busy and crazy sometimes. You seem like you're in just a state of overwhelm. What is going on? What keeps you so busy? So now I've just made it, she didn't say I'm overwhelmed, but I just heard her say I'm overwhelmed. I just embellished it a little back at her. And now she feels even more like he understands what I'm saying. She gets what I'm saying. Now she feels even better about talking with me because I get her even more. I hear what are you doing? What keeps you so busy? Tell me more. So this is when you're, kind of going back to that, be their hairdresser, get them to talk to you until their body language changes. And this is called the purging stage. If they're just like, I am so busy, I can't do that kind of stuff. Arms folded, kick back. I just don't have time for that. And you keep embellishing and keep the conversation going until they're like, oh my God, you get it, and their body language changes and they lean forward and they start talking to you like this. They feel heard. They feel validated. They feel like you understand. You didn't try to convince them. And you can help them move past that objection. So you maybe didn't convince them that moment, or they're not going to admit to it, but they're going to leave the conversation going, I really like what she said about such and such. I really like how she talked about being able to, fit it in. Like if I said, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. I was so busy. I have 4 kids. Life gets crazy. And what I found was, especially with technology today, I can fit this in just sitting in line, waiting for my kids, picking them up. I can make a quick phone call. So I have really found some creative ways to fit it in. I don't have to harp on that, but I'm going to give a little bit of my story. I've really found that I love it. And if this is your story, you could say, I do a little bit of work through the week and we get paid on a Tuesday. I love getting that check deposited on Tuesdays for the work that I've done. We get paid every week. So I see instant money for my effort. That's going to be like a light bulb going off for someone who you're talking to that needs extra money. So when you are going through these steps, you've honored them. You say, I get it. Like you're not trying to argue with them. You embrace it. You're okay with them telling you no. You're not getting defensive. You ask them to define it. Not every time, well, you need to do this. Well, what do you mean? How much time do you think it takes? So maybe, how much money do you think it takes to do a business like this? You're asking them to define instead of me just giving you fact after fact after fact. Keep the conversation going, get information from them. Then you embellish it like, oh my gosh, I can tell you're overwhelmed. What keeps you so busy? What's going on? And then to the point of them feeling, you feel like you've moved them past that objection, purging it, it's gone. Then you're going to ask permission to address it. And whenever we ask permission to move forward, they feel like they're in control instead of us saying, all right, now I want to tell you how you really could do this. Well, now all of a sudden it's about me and I'm going to tell you. And that doesn't come across well. But if I say something like this, and so a lot of times in other trainings, I learned verbiage such as, well, if I could show you a way that you could fit this in? Would you be open to hearing more? That was what I used to say. Obviously, it works sometimes down the line, right? I'm still here. But this is a better way to say it, you guys, because it puts them more in control. It puts them at the driver's seat to say, well, what if you could discover a way that you really could fit this in the limited time that you have? What if you could discover a way that you could do this with the limited funds that you say you have? Now all of a sudden I'm letting them discover the way. See how that changes a little bit of the body language, the attitude. It's not like I'm preaching at them, but I'm helping them discover a way. And this is a good time that you could say that something from Eric Worre's book, GoPro, if I would you. So if I were to send you a quick 5-minute video explaining some of the things that we talked about today, would you be willing to watch it? Would you be open to watching it? The if I would you. If I were to send you, give you this nutrition basket or tester set, would you be open to trying it and give me feedback? If I, whatever, would you? And that is a simple way to, I hate to use the word close, but kind of seal the deal. Like you've heard them, whatever objection, you've answered it, you've got to know them, and now you're asking them to go a step forward with you, which is perhaps watch a quick video, perhaps try a sample basket, a tester set, or whatever, to move to the next step. So it's never about arguing. It's never about trying to be right or convince them. It really is about letting them know that you heard them, you get it. You're not going to make them feel stupid or that they were wrong in some way. So you're definitely, it's not about winning the argument, really. People want to know that you actually listened, that they were heard. And I think I said this already, the prospect really doesn't hear your point of view until they know you've heard theirs. So if you get an objection and you don't address it and honor it and embellish it and help them feel heard, and you just keep talking, they shut you down. They're not even listening anymore. Okay. Or if you can try to convince or change their mind, the wall goes up and they're not even listening. So it's really a good thing to think about, just hearing them and even saying the objection back to them. I think that is kind of in the embellishment when you say, I hear what you're saying. You are running the kids around. You have to check in with your parents. You got to get home and cook dinner. What if you could discover a way that you could fit this, this potential income into your life, this business? What if you could discover a way that we could, it would work for you and you could make that extra stream of income that you talked about wanting? So you're kind of putting it back to them, what's keeping them busy. You hear them and then you offer that solution, I guess is a good word to put it. I'm just scanning through notes. I just wrote just a quick, one of the things that Eric Worre talks about is changing the way professionals are viewed in our industry. You guys, we're in the network marketing industry. It is a very viable, successful industry. It's not well known by lots of people, but it is worldwide. It is a huge business to be in. And when you have, I know many of you have heard me say this, when we start this business and we start it with a small mindset and a small vision, we're out there just trying to sell a protein or do this or do that. It's what I call the garage sale mentality. Just, making a quick sale, making a quick buck. I hope that you can open up to what we call the millionaire mindset, the entrepreneurial mindset of this business, really becoming a student of the industry and being proud and learning what it takes to be successful as a professional in network marketing. This is 23 years in this business for me. I think I can consider myself a professional in the industry of network marketing, even though I'm a work-at-home mom with 4 kids, homeschooling, whatever, trying to keep, what my life going, craziness going here, as you might have just heard the door open and being interrupted, which such is life. We want to really educate ourselves on this industry, be proud of what we're doing, One of the saddest things happened to me today. I was sitting at swim lessons and I'm talking to the mom right next to me. She's super sweet. Everything we're talking about, we're just relating so well. And now I know why, because she used to be in Arbonne. And that was the saddest part of the whole story. Like, she had all these great things. She's talking about applying for these jobs, and you really can't find anything that's family friendly that will, let you off at 3:00. I mean, she's saying all the right things, right? I just keep listening. I never said the word Arbonne. I never said I have a business. I just kept listening and asking questions. What does your husband do? What keeps you busy? Where do you live? What kind of work were you looking for? Because she brought up the job immediately. And the whole thing, I can't find the family friendly. I can't find this. Like, there's really nothing like that out there. And I did say, there's not, unless you start your own business, I guess. Not a lot of people want to just let you run your life the way you want to. Ha ha. Well, turns out she used to be a regional vice president with Arbonne many, many moons ago. And she just had some family issues and some marital issues or whatever, and stopped, and then never started again. You guys, it was she could be like a national vice president. She talked about all these amazing people that were on her team, how they were promoting and being successful and how great she was doing. And she just stopped. Why? Why would you give up on something? I know life happens. And I said, girl, do you still have your ID number? Oh yeah. I said, because I renew every year. I said, don't let that go. You can pick this up anytime. It's amazing what's going on. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago. It's amazing what's going on. Technology is so different. I just did a call with our team in Australia, 6:30 Saturday morning. I mean, you can do this business anywhere. It's global. You can just do it on a laptop or your phone. It's so much different. It's so different than it was, I don't know what I said, 15 years ago. Don't ever let that number go. But you guys, it was so sad to me of where she could be today. And you've probably heard the saying, don't quit before payday. And that's what she did. She just quit before payday. You guys, it is coming for you when you just don't quit. This is an amazing business. It's given my family an amazing lifestyle. And I've learned so much, just how to be a better person each and every day, just by being involved with this business, listening to the training, plugging in, and learning and growing anytime that I can. And I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to help your new consultant see the benefit and the value of plugging in and learning and growing, and help them see the possibility, not just the possibility, I've said this on another call, but help them move to inevitable. So people join your business because they see the things you're talking about and it feels possible for them. And then they have a little success and it feels like probable, like, wow, okay, this probably is going to happen for me. And the sooner we can move them over to inevitable, conviction, I'm doing this, determination, I got this, I don't want anything else in my life, I will do this business no matter what. Inevitable for me to be a national vice president, I will not stop. Help them plug in, grow, see success, help them get a paycheck every Tuesday, and to build their business, to get to district as soon as possible so that they can move from it's possible to it is inevitable. I will do this as quickly as possible. Utilize your upline. Make us work. Let us help you. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Remember, we love rejection. We love objections. Learn to embrace that and be happy and be challenged by it and be so confident in what you've got that you're just like, okay, next, it's fine. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Okay, that was from our former president, Rita Davenport, many moons ago. Some will, some won't. I add some watch you to see if you're going to stick with this. Some wait and watch, some will never do this. That's okay. You don't need everyone to say yes. You just need a few to partner with and go to the top. So I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you so much for joining our Vision 90 Zoom. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.